targeting? What does that word mean, and how do you use it for your restaurant? In this video, I'm going to show you how to reach the right customers for your restaurant to make sure you get more fans for your brand and bills in your till instead of just wasting money on Facebook. I'm Tracy Matney. I'm the founder of Restaurant Victory, where I help you get more fans for your brand and more bills in your till through targeted social media advertising. Now, if you're not sure what that means, targeted, you're not really sure how to target your ideal customer on Facebook or Instagram, this video is going to show you that. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you how to get access to my top shelf Facebook page checklist so that you can make sure that your Facebook page is in tip-top shape before you start running any ads to these people. So there's a few factors that go into where to target your ads on Facebook for your restaurant. Now, if we're talking about you're a local mom and pop, one location restaurant, then you're going to want to set your address as your location. Don't just put the city. You want to be really specific and put your address and then choose a radius around that address. It's really important that you start with the demographic area that's literally going to be able to drive to your restaurant. I hate this. I see it all the time in my news feed where I see people targeting me and I'm 2 hours away. I'm like, that sounds great. Maybe I'll go to that restaurant like once when I'm in LA or something, but I'm not going to drive 2 hours to LA regularly to go eat at a restaurant. What you are trying to find with your Facebook ads is your ideal customer. You want to find people who are going to be able to come weekly, maybe it's monthly, to your restaurant. I mean, I have some clients who have regulars that come 3 times a week. So I want to make sure that you start with that. You start with a physical radius around your restaurant. Now let's talk about what that radius should be. If you're in an area like one of my clients is in Culver City and they're a poke restaurant and there's actually like 3 other poke restaurants within a 5-mile radius. So it doesn't make sense to do 5 miles. People aren't going to need to drive that far to get poke, right? So they're going to target a 1 or 2 mile radius because there's a lot of population density. Okay, there's tons of people there, tons of traffic. It was even like close to 1 million people in that audience when I set it up for 2 miles. Or if you're in a rural area, like one of my clients out in Texas, his town is around 10,000 people. So it's a really small town, even though we targeted a 5-mile radius from his restaurant, that covered the entire town and a few outside of that. In the country, where people's houses are like, 2 giant football fields apart from each other. When we set up this 5-mile radius for his restaurant, that was an audience size of about 14,000 people. So compare that to LA, where that 1 or 2 mile radius was like 1 million people, right? So we're targeting a really small radius or a larger radius, but we're not really going to go much outside of 5 miles because that's what we found in our experience. People are willing to drive to go eat at a restaurant pretty regularly. So let's now talk about age range. That's something that's really simple for you to do when you're running your ads is you can set it up for whatever age. Now, if you're a restaurant that has alcohol, just set the age at 21 and up. I mean, there are people under 21 that might want to come to your restaurant, but it's just easier and Facebook loves it if you do 21 and up. But outside of that, I would keep it wide open when you first start running your ads. If you've never run your ads before, I would keep it really wide open because you might be surprised as to who is going to be engaging with those ads. Now, if you've been in business a long time and you know for sure who your ideal customer is and what age they are, then go ahead and choose that age range. For our poke chain I was talking about, their audience is typically younger. But then I have my barbecue client where their ideal customer is in their 50s. And they know that because we've been running their ads for over a year. We started out wide open. We wanted to see how the market worked. The majority of people, a very large percentage of people that engaged with the ads actually got the offer, came in and used it, were over 50. So why continue spending money targeting people in their 20s and 30s when maybe they're just not going to go spend $25 on a dinner for themselves, right? It's typically people that are a little bit older that have a little bit more money to spend on kind of a nice barbecue style restaurant. So you've got to think about your ideal customer. I know this is hard because you want to be like, well, everyone can eat at my restaurant. It's something I hear all the time. But if you're speaking to everyone, you're really speaking to no one. So it's really helpful if you can speak to a direct audience. The next type of targeting that you can look at is interest targeting. These are people that are interested in certain types of food. They might be interested in activities or they have certain behaviors. They do certain things that is very specific to this type of person that is more likely to eat at your restaurant. Now, one thing that I looked at with this poke example is that it's fresh and healthy food. So what we did is we took that radius around their restaurant, and I actually have multiple of their locations because they're franchised. So throughout the US, it's actually different. I have one in that Culver City one I was talking about. I have one in Georgia, one in Dallas, and it's very different for every location. So you have to look at the map. I recommend looking at Google Maps. So go ahead and pull up your location. You probably already know these things, but look at Google Maps and look at what is in you say 3-mile radius from your restaurant. Look at the gyms, look at the restaurants, the other restaurants, the stores, look at even like big corporations. So one of our clients has a really big Kaiser hospital nearby them. So what I did is I used interest targeting. I chose Kaiser as their employer. So I wanted to make sure that all the Kaiser employees, Kaiser Medical, got a chance to see these ads because they're there probably 5 days a week. Some of them 3 to 7 days a week, depending on what job they do at the hospital. So it's likely that those are the kinds of people that are most likely to come to that restaurant over and over, maybe before their shift or after. You also want to look at, this restaurant was healthy food. So we looked at people who work out at certain gyms. So people who are going to Orange Theory and 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, those kinds of places are where people might be like, oh, and then the ad says healthy. So that like makes sense for them because they're the type of person that's going to that particular gym and it's close by. So you can actually target people who go to those gyms. Or if you have a grocery store nearby, which tends to be a lot of my clients because they tend to be in shopping centers and the grocery store is kind of the anchor store. You could choose that anchor store as their employer as well. Because again, they're there regularly, they're going to work there, and they're going to want to get food before or after their shift. So besides that location type interest targeting, you can even just target people who are interested in certain things. Like we might target people who are into bodybuilding or into keto or into fish because it's fish, people who are interested in sushi. You could get really specific, and I recommend testing these different audiences. So in Facebook Ads Manager, when you're setting up these ads, you can have different types of ad sets. I would test one that is your ad set is for interest and one ad set that is for behaviors, and where they work, demographics, because you want to be able to test and see which audiences are performing the best. Now, I know I haven't really talked about the cost or how much you should spend on your ads. If you're wondering that, go ahead and click this video right here, because in this video, I talk all about how much you should spend on your ads, all the different metrics that you need to understand before you start running ads or while you're already started running ads. And I'm totally willing to help you out with that. So make sure to watch that video. And if you'd like to get my Facebook page checklist that can help you get your Facebook page ready before you actually start running your ads to make sure that your page is top shelf so that when people click on your profile and they see who you are, that your page looks professional and is exciting for them, go ahead and click the link below and you can grab that Facebook page checklist. If you liked this video, make sure to share it with your friends. Let me know in the comments what was your favorite part, what questions you have, and I will absolutely personally jump in there and answer those questions for you. And also make sure to subscribe so you get notified when I make new videos. I'm here for you. I can't wait to help you get more fans for your brand and put more bills in your till. I'll talk to you soon. Right? I don't know what that distance is. How far is it? How many feet is a football field? I should Google that. I don't know. Anyway.